Sean is gonna start his run. And you are live.
Alright. Good morning, everyone. Hope your day is going well. Welcome to Art of Rally, aka Monkasteer the video game. So we're going to be running 100% free roam. There are 5 free roam maps. Got to get all the collectibles in them. So we're going to be doing it in Group A because it's the fastest. Picking the Subaru because it's like the only Group A car that's actually like reasonable to drive. The others are basically impossible. And we're going to get started. So 3, 2, 1, go. So this is basically Tony Hawk, but you're in a car. So there's 16 items to get on each of the maps. 5 cassettes, 5 photo spots, 5 letters, and 1 van. First thing we're going to be doing here is our first recover. So by pressing start and selecting recover car, we're able to teleport to the nearest road. And also we can pick up items when we're in the recovery animation. So we actually hit recover before picking up that item, and then that will optimize the recovery animation for picking up that item. So this game is largely like routing based for as far as like time goes. I put a lot of work into routing this game. Very, very proud of it. Spent a lot of time in the best speedrun routing program, MS Paint. Perfect tool for all your needs. That chicane there is basically impossible to do fast. I don't understand it. So you notice with the photos, they behave a bit differently from the other items. So they put us into a photo screen when we get them, and that will immediately stop us, which means we don't have to actually worry about slowing down for them, or if there's a corner right after, we don't have to worry about slowing down for that corner. We've got a very difficult jump coming up here. Let's see if we can get it. I'm gonna try and hit as fast as possible, and also with a good angle. Okay, this is... could have been worse. So ideally you can just drive away at full speed there. It's very, very, very hard to do. But usually what happens is you spin out and crash, and I didn't do that, so all in all I would call it a success. And we're just going to make our way along this section of road, which I think is a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite sections of road in free roam. A lot of really fun turns that you can hit really fast if you know what you're doing. Right up here, we're going to cut right across this little forest section. You notice I drive very slowly whenever I'm off-road. That's because off-road is, as you can see, it is incredibly unstable. That was not as fast as I would like. And if you hit off-road way too fast, then you're more or less guaranteed to just flip over and lose it. So we're going to get close to that van, hit recover, take us back to the road. So what we're going to do here is a recovery warp. So when I explained how recovery works, I said it takes you to the nearest road. That doesn't necessarily mean the road you went off of. Case in point right here, where you just go off a road, and then when you're more than halfway across, you recover, and that will take you to this road instead of the one you actually went off of. And that's going to allow us to do some pretty major skips, skipping large sections of road. For example, coming up right here, we can do another one. This one's actually much harder. We're going to have to go a fair ways into these trees, but this actually skips a lot of road. So this is good. This is tech. And as soon as we're past that rock, we're going to hit recover and immediately switch into reverse. I am playing with all the assists off, including like manual gearing and stuff. Manual is significantly better in this game because of the way acceleration in higher gears works. Being able to stay in higher gears, even if the game doesn't think you should be in a higher gear, is usually really, really good. Another recovery over the water there. And immediately go into reverse. That photo mode. Right up there. That's a scary little hill. Very easy to flip there, even if it looks pretty flat. Get this cassette. So you can do a corner cut here by just going right before these trees to get the photo mode and then get the photo mode midair. It looks very cool, but I'm not going to go for it because I've failed it one too many times and just gone flying off the track to the lower section, which loses a lot of time. Anyways, we're going to do a very, very tricky jump here. See if we can get it. This looks alright. Yeah, this is fine. Recover once you hit this tree. And that will take you over here. So that jump, there's a lot of like really strange geometry where you can just flip over or whatever, or you can hit the trees. A lot can go wrong. There we go. We got all the rally letters. And now we're just sort of doing cleanup. And sort of... This level's kind of interesting because all the items are sort of in a loop, except for 3 of them, which are off in their own little line. So the routing's pretty obvious here. You do the loop, and then you just get the rest. So probably the hardest jump in this level is coming up. We're going to need to hit it with a lot of speed. And so managing speed around this corner while still getting the cassette here is very important. We're going to try and hit this jump right at the top of 4th gear. That's pretty good. And just yeet. And recover. And that's going to put us over here. Very good. You want to make sure you don't recover too early for that, because that one's actually very strict for how far you need to go. And it's very dependent on the angle you get off the jump too. So if you're not actively aware of it, things can go very wrong. And that's the first level, Finland. We got the last cassette, which gives us an unlocked track, and that's going to play immediately. So the soundtrack of this round is actually set in stone, even though normally the music in this game is completely randomized. I'm going to move on to the next free room, which is Spain. And Spain's a bit stranger for the route, because you have basically a north and a south section, which are separated by a long stretch of road or a very large body of water. You can technically jump over the body of water, but it is extremely difficult. Like, literally, I get it 1 in 100 tries. But theoretically, if you could do it consistently, you could get a better route from it. But, nah. Wait, what am I doing? Sorry, I forgot about this jump. That should be enough. Yep, that was enough. Alright, we got this section of road here, which is very, very difficult. Spain's roads in general, I think, are some of the most difficult in the run. Just because they're very, very thin. They're gravel, which means we don't have much traction. And they're pretty tight and curvy. So we're just gonna take it kind of safe, just to make sure we stay on. Can technically cut this corner, but it is ever so slightly slower. And likewise, there's another very long off-road section you can do by just turning right at that L, but it's super inconsistent and it's not faster unless you do it very, very fast, which is extremely dangerous and you're almost certain to flip. So instead, we're going to do the boring strat and do this anxiety-inducing S-corner here. These huge crests. This game has satisfying drifting because it's so slidey. In terms of like the physics of this game, or the controls of this game, it's actually, despite its appearance, pretty sim-like. Sort of operating on very similar rules as like a simulation game, though much more slidey. So right here, we're actually gonna quit to menu. Quitting to menu is gonna take us back to the beginning of the free roam level, while keeping our items. And since this level is separated by like a huge stretch of road, all the items, it's gonna be faster actually just go back to the middle like this, which is a strat you're gonna see a lot in this run. Then we're gonna do a jump up here. This jump is really fun and works every time. Whee! Head up this way. Whoops. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I'm losing control. It's very easy to lose control in this game because of how slidey the physics are. Alright, pretty tricky little transition here that you can do. Keep speed through that, and we did it very well. Oh dear. That's, don't hit the tree. Yes, I love the AI people in this game. It is fantastic that they just have to dive out of the way instead of most rally games where they're protected by like an invulnerable fence. Okay. Which I mean is actually what like Group B rally is like. If you look at videos Group B rally, this is literally what the crowds are doing. This is a very hard jump and can be very inconsistent at times, but looks like we got it good. There are times when like ramping off that jump will just stop you dead in your tracks. I don't know like where that happens, like where you hit the jump and that causes it to happen, but sometimes I've just had it happen. It loses a lot of time because that cuts a very big corner. Braked a little late for that corner, but that's more than alright. Most of this game is just, or this run is just reacting to your own bad driving, because it's very, very difficult to drive perfectly in this game. Oop, taking that wide, didn't hit the tree. I love that crest there, a lot of fun to do. Crests in this game in general are a lot of fun because you just get to like slide over them. Let's see if we get good paint job RNG. So this is just going to change our paint color. The best RNG you can get is where it just comes up with the same color. It doesn't actually matter, but I pretend it matters. And then this is a pretty scary little sprint section because you can just flat out it up to this point. And it's very scary to do so. Going top speed in this game is genuinely terrifying. Because it just makes your car more and more unstable, and your car is already really unstable in this game, and then all of a sudden it's like you're adding going actually fast into the mix. So long as you're focused, you'll be alright. Got the final set there. And so you notice, or hopefully if I do this right, you're going to notice I'm going to hit the photo point up here. Turning in a bit before the photo point, like this, so I'm actually at an extra angle. The reason I do that is it's going to point me out on the exact direction I went in with, so we can basically get like free grip back. And that's the second level. Going into the third, which is Japan, and is, in my opinion, which given that I'm the only person who's run this category is the only opinion that matters, the hardest level in the run. It's very long, it has very hard tricks, but we'll try our best. So the first thing we're going to do is immediately reverse and do a little J-turn there, drive right off the mountain. So Japan's layout is sort of, it's like a circle that is centered by a very large mountain. And so routing it is all about finding the best ways to get up and down that mountain. And they're not very convenient ways. Alright, there's a trick here I'm going to go for exactly once. I don't actually go for this in runs, but, I mean, for the marathon, I've gotten this trick exactly once in my life. So, yeah, no. So it is possible to hit that van with such a perfect angle that it will launch you up into the air over this lake. Which means you can skip this section of road here. It is extremely inconsistent because you are colliding off an object that already has physics. And you gotta do it like an exact right angle at an exact right speed, or else it just won't give you the right bounce. But it's cool when I got it, the one time I got it, and never since. Head over here. Photo mode. Turn here, and then we're going to go back up the mountain. So we just got to set up the line here right, which I did not do. Nice rock. And generally when you're off-road in this game, you're going to want to stay in second, just to maximize traction. If you go lower, you're going to lose traction. You go higher, you're not going to have the just if you need to get up. Hit recover. Immediately reverse. Now we're back at the top of the mountain. And then we're going to do this very challenging jump. The angle for this jump matters a lot. So let's see what we get. This looks pretty decent. Let's see where it puts us. Yeah, this is the, oh no, this is actually the worst respawn point. And we got yeeted. So ideally, it's possible to angle yourself so perfectly that your respawn point is right here. But it is very, very difficult. And you only get it like 1 in 20 times. I'm gonna drive straight up this way. And then when we're at the top of this hill, we're gonna hit recover. And if we timed it right, yeah, we'll respawn right on that letter. Just handy. Jump this. Recover. And then this is a very tricky section. There's a very high-speed corner around here that we can actually keep fork through if we're bold. And we are. Slow down a bit, but we kept fork. But that's a very scary corner. But not as scary as what's coming up. So this is the first heavy anxiety off-road section of Japan. Everything else has been easy mode. Because this is going to skip a very long hairpin turn section that we can instead just drive straight through. But we're going to have to do the whole thing off-road, which off-road in this game is terrifying, inconsistent, and just a nightmare to navigate. So it doesn't go well often, but it looks like we're making it. Up here, hit the respawn, and we just drive away. Very good. So you can jump off at that first hairpin right there, but you're almost guaranteed to roll, which will lose you time. Instead, it's much safer to go off right here, where you're probably not going to roll. Here is a recreation of the Ebisu drift circuit in Japan, if you wanted to drive that, but we're just going to stay on it for a little bit and then leave. And head up here for the big anxiety off-road section number 2 of Japan. Just gonna jump off right here. That's already hard because avoiding those rocks is hard. And now this one's even harder because it's very long and we're going up a mountain. So we're gonna try and angle this right. We're good. Get up there, get up there. Believe it or not, this is faster than doing it normally. Trust me, I've timed it. It's somehow faster. Come on, get the traction. Get traction, please. I beg you, I need traction. Thank you. One more. Traction, 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 traction. Thank you. Come on. Traction. Thank you. We're good. And we're just gonna get back on right here. So that again skips another very long hairpin turn section up the mountain. Instead, we can just go straight to this photo mode. But don't worry, that's not the hardest thing in Japan. Japan keeps delivering. The hardest is yet to come. Just gonna head up here. It's technically possible to jump this guardrail, but it is extremely difficult. I would not recommend trying it. Not worth it for the time it saves. And instead, we're gonna come over here and believe in ourselves. We're gonna need to conserve a lot of speed through this, and also get like the perfect angle. I'm not liking this. Actually, we're gonna make it over? Yeah, we made it over, but we're rolling around. Actually, we're landing. Actually, we're landing. Okay, let's go. I'm gaming. So yeah, that entire downhill section past that jump we just did is surrounded by guardrails that are really hard to get over. So you need to jump over at that section, but that's a very difficult jump, and it's very easy to go just a bit short and just land back on the road. And if that happens, you lose a lot of time. But we didn't. Come around here, and we're gonna get the last cassette, and that's the end of Japan. And we're gonna get a Eurobeat song to enjoy in the next level, which is Norway. So Norway doesn't really have much in the way of skips, but it is very, very technical. We're on snow, which has very little traction, and the roads are very winding. Luckily, they're not as thin as something like Spain, but it's still very tricky. Also, it's very hard in Norway to judge how far you can go off-road before you'll get unstable, just because the entirety of the off-road surface is white, which makes it very hard to see like the texture of the surface. But you can cut these corners a bit. Little sprint section here. As a racing game made after like 2010, you're legally obligated to have both a AE86 in the game and a Eurobeat song. That is true. This game has both. As such, it is a real racing game. Respawn when you get to this tree line and immediately start reversing. And I'll play here. That will skip a few corners. Interesting little behavior here. For whatever reason, right at this spot, the water is shallow enough that you can just drive through it. So normally water, if you go into it, it'll respawn you. What it's actually checking for to see is if your tires are completely coated in water, in which case it'll respawn you, but it's just barely shallow enough there that you can drive through. Unfortunately, we can't do that going the other direction, so we do have to take the bridge this time. Finish. So the shape of Norway is like a big U, and we start in the middle of the U, which means the route is pretty set in stone that you just go down one end of the U, restart, and then go down the other end of the U, which is exactly what we're going to do. And we're just about done the first end. 2 more items to get down here at the end. And again, I'm going to hairpin turn, or not, handbrake turn, sorry, why did I say hairpin? Into that photo mode so that I can get the free turn for the exit. Just a little micro optimization, and then we're going to click the menu. And do the other end of the U. So this one's a bit more skip heavy, I'd say. The beginning here is very technical. You think you can cut that corner, it looks like you cut that corner, but you can't cut that corner. Just trust me, you can't cut that corner. Head on up here. Big drift, big drift. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, I turned in a bit too much there. So actually, that will be a tech showcase for how to recover speed quickly. The clutch in this game is like extremely busted, to the point where if you're like low in the revs and you just mash the clutch, you will, I'm off my line here, hold on. Is this my line? I don't think this is my line either. No, this is not my line. Well, I did that wrong. If you do your line right, you can recovery warp right to this corner, but I got the line wrong. But the clutch in this game is broken, where if you're low in the revs, you can just spam the clutch and it will put you high in the revs, basically skipping the lower end of your acceleration curve. So I'm actually going to avoid picking up this photo mode because we need to come back and we're going to abuse it for the free turn on the other way around, because we're going to hit it faster on the other way around. This corner is cursed. For whatever reason, it's super easy to flip on that corner, even though like there's no reason why it should be. So I always just take it really slow, because if you take it fast, you're basically just going to flip. Go around here and use the free turn. Just doing that kind of stuff allows you to hit corners faster than you would normally be able to. I would have had to slow down in the first on that corner otherwise, and then we're just going to throw ourselves off right here. And this jump never really works how you want, but it always usually works out alright. I always land that jump, even though it's just like magic. But it never, like, ideally you can like jump all the way down here, but that never actually happens. Get the van. just gonna pick up the last few items down this way. It is possible to jump this little bay here, but I don't think it's consistent enough to doing runs, at least for whatever setups I've found for it. It's like a 20% of the time thing. Big drift there. And again, we're gonna handbrake turn into this, free turn. And then I've actually never missed this, and I didn't this time. I feel like that jump should be hard, but it just works. And we're gonna move on to the final level now, which is Germany. Not playing in a van, but almost did. One of these days I'm going to be doing a run of this game and just select the wrong classic car. It's not today. So, Germany's interesting. It has the most quick to menus of any track. With 2 of them. So, for this letter here, once you actually just turn around on that road up ahead, and then go backwards on it, but it's faster to just do this. And then drive down this way. You can cut the trees there for a big jump, but it's very inconsistent. Instead, do this much more consistent path of just driving down here. Like that. Down through. And get this. Oh, no. Ah, good enough. We got the photo mode. I was worried I was going to miss it. And we're going to do our first quick to menu. And now we're going to do the second leg of Germany, which, in my opinion, is the best. So, we're just going to go straight, and we're going to get to this intersection up here, and we're just going to keep going straight. And around here we can respawn, and that's going to put us up on this hairpin right here, where we get a letter, and a cassette up here. And we're going to just immediately go off the road again, because roads take a long time if they're not a straight line to your destination. And as soon as we get to this tree line up here, we'll be far enough to recover. Here's the hardest intended jump in the run. I regularly miss this, even though like it's something you're actually supposed to do. But we got it. It's very hard. It's very easy to miss that letter. And we're gonna go through this little sprint section. So these stone borders, anyone who's played this game knows about these stone borders, and they hate them. They're very easy to hit, and if you get stuck in between them, it takes a long time to get back out. So going through that sprint section there is a bit scary, just because if you take that one corner too fast, that can happen, and you'll lose a lot of time. Don't roll, please. Thank you. And get back on the road here. Drive up this way. And now we're gonna climb up this section here, line yourself up with these bushes, and apparently that didn't work. I guess that bush decided to have collision today. I've never seen that bush have collision, but I guess at the very center it probably does. Good to know. And we're just gonna drive up this way. Unfortunately, it's not faster to do a recovery warp on this hill, because when you spawn, it's going to place you backwards. Which I should mention, the direction when you do a recover is based on the position you recover to. And that's always set, so there's no way to prevent it from being backwards. And then just pick up all the items up here, and that will be the end of the second third after we get this van. And we're almost done the run. Just gotta do this final leg. Which is pretty straightforward. This is just cleanup. This is just getting the stuff that wasn't convenient to get on our first 2 legs. So we're gonna drive down this road. Very fast road. Make sure you don't accidentally drive by that letter. Very easy to do. And now we just got one more photo to get, which is up this way. And of course, roads are for cowards. Just take the straight line. And time.
All right, awesome. That was a 30:39 on my end.
Very nice.
So yeah, awesome. Thank you very much for that run. We're gonna go to a quick intermission, and then we'll be right back with your second run. That will be inertial drift, which is also awesome. So